It's May 9th, 2010. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I hope you'll get some good advice out of what I'm about to tell you. I want to talk today about the economy, specifically the North American economy, and specifically the Canadian and the Toronto economy, which is where that's where I'm from. That's where a lot of my clients are from. So I wanted to discuss with you what is going on, what I believe is happening, and why I believe there's also a lot of untruths, lies out there about what's happening. And as a businessman, I think that every entrepreneur out there should at least have a second opinion except what you hear in the news. Okay. First of all, if your business is not doing as well as you think it should be doing, I know last year, 2009, was a tough year for many, many businessmen, me included. When I talk to businessmen, which I do every single day, I consult for a lot of business owners, I hear what they're saying. And when I hear the news talk about that we're out of this recession, we're coming back out of it, to me it's a big laugh. I mean, specifically in Canada, how can we be out of something that we've never gotten into yet? Let me tell you something interesting about the North American economy. I was a broker for many, many years here in Toronto. And we always had a saying in the brokerage industry. The saying was that when the U.S. sneezed, Canada caught a cold. Okay. Well, we all know that the U.S. sneezed big time 2 years ago with their financial crisis that they had. But we have yet to catch that cold. We have not caught that cold. I mean, the Canadian real estate market's still been crazy. In my opinion, it's a bubble, but it still is very, very strong. Canadian economy really hasn't gone through, at least nowhere near to what the U.S. has gone to. But as long as I've been alive, we are still very, very tied into that U.S. economy. I have a lot of associates of mine that tell me, well, geez, you know what, right now we're so strong because of our commodities and our raw resources. I don't buy it. I've got to tell you something. We are too tied into the U.S. economy. And when they hurt, we hurt. And they've hurt, and we haven't yet. Okay? If anyone wants to believe that we're going to survive this thing, guys, what happened last week when the Dow went down almost 1,000 points in one day in history, the single biggest drop in the history of the Dow. And then the next day they come out and tell you that it's human error. Some guy put a B instead of an M on a wrong trade. I don't buy it for 1 second. I think these markets are jittery, and I think some of the big boys are actually coming out, okay? And they want to try to make things still look rosy, so the little guy always gets shafted. Let's face it, the little guy's always going to get shafted. But I don't want to get into conspiracy theories because many of you that know me know my views on the governments and these big businesses. They lie to you every single day. That's what they're there for, is just to lie to you. And we as Canadians, more than any society that I know, take it. I mean, we just keep taking it and taking it, and we get fed these lies, and we believe it. And to me, it's astounding. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about that right now. If you wanted to discuss that, we can discuss that further. What I am here to discuss is why I believe that we're in trouble, and we're going to be in much more trouble, and it's going to come out very, very soon. Okay? My opinion is this. About 2 years ago, I was working up at Highway 7 and 404 Allstate Parkway, doing some consulting for a couple of people up there. And I found something very interesting when I was up there. I had a lot of companies coming every single day of the week that wanted us to do this or that or the other thing for them. But an interesting thing that I found was that out of 10 companies that came to me, 2 out of the 10 were real. And what I mean by when I say real, let me explain to you what I mean by that. A real company produces a product or has a real service, some sort of real service, okay? But I like actually product, someone that actually produces something. That's real, okay? I'm going to give you from example. I've consulted for many years for a pharmaceutical guy up here in Toronto. Guy has a decent business, has a very unique business that sells prescription drugs, so it's a very, very niche market. But he actually produces drugs that he sells to a wide range of hospitals, doctors, and so forth. His company does about $2.5 million a year. And it's a little company, but it grows every single year, and it's real. It actually produces something, okay? Then what happens is, as I said to you, out of 10 that I met, companies, 2 of them fit that category. The other 8 were what I call consultants, and I use that term loosely, and believe me, I use it loosely. Consultants that they really did not produce anything. What these consultants did, and still try to do today, except they're having a hard time of it, is they go to companies like my buddy and say, hey, you know what, I know contacts in the Dubai market, and this, by the way, is a real example. I know a contact in the Dubai market. Why don't you let me open up the Dubai market for your products? The guy gave him $30,000, and guess what the consultant did? Absolutely zero. That's what these consultants are, in my opinion, the leeches of society. They try to feed off unsuspecting businessmen who are naive and will pay them for work never done. And there's a whole debate going on some of these chat rooms like LinkedIn about upfront fees for consultants. I'm going to explain to you later on in the video how I think the new era. Guys, don't forget, I'm a consultant as well. So I have to also live in this madness that's there as well, except I've taken my business to a different, I'm running it, I'm doing a different business plan this year, which I'll explain to you in a sec. But anyways, that's what happened. These consultants would go out, try to take upfront fees from companies, and really 90% of the times not do anything for their fees. Okay, but then a very interesting thing happened 2 years ago when the financial crisis hit. When it hit, the companies that are real, like my client's pharmaceutical company, they're still doing business. They're still selling their drugs. People have to still buy prescription drugs, especially the drugs that they put out, because it's a very niche market. Obviously, their market has dropped. Their sales have dropped over the last year because of the financial crisis, but they still produce. But what do you think this guy, the first thing that he does when his business goes a little bit sour? He starts to cut back on expenses, especially unnecessary expenses. And one of the most unnecessary expenses is these bloody consultants with their upfront fees that do nothing. So they cut them off right away at the knees. And believe me when I tell you, I'm not kidding when I say to you, 8 out of 10 that I saw companies were all just fictitious consultants doing nothing. And these fictitious consultants also had other consultants that they would hire, because don't forget, since 1990 really, we've had a phenomenal market in Canada and the US really up until about 2 years ago. But when times were good, sure, these consultants were going out getting clients to give them upfront fees for doing nothing. They would hire other consultants to get them more clients. Everyone's feeding off of this trough. But when the shit hit the fan and the real companies stopped hiring these consultants, and these consultants in turn stopped hiring their own consultants, these guys are the guys that are hurting. Okay? And if I'm right that it's 8 out of 10, that means that more people out there are just bullshit than real. This economy is in trouble. It's common sense. This economy is in trouble. Guys, I have to tell you, I know many businessmen. I talk to them, like I said, on a regular basis. A lot of them are hurting. And I know a lot of these consultants, unfortunately, and they're hurting, and they don't want to listen to me. And if you're one of them, I urge you, contact me, email me. There is a way to survive what's coming. And what is coming is not going to be pretty. It's not going to get better. I think it's going to get much worse before it gets better. And I believe that if people don't smarten up and take heed to what's about to come, everything that you've worked for in the last 10 to 15 years, you could lose. Okay? Give me a call. Everyone knows my number, 647-827-0288, or email me at brazilbeachresorts@gmail.com. I'm interested in talking to business people who are hurting and who don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I can help you navigate through this situation, but you need to contact me. Thank you for listening. I plan to put out a couple more of these video series. If it gets a lot of times the videos that I put out get warm reception. Some people don't like them. I do guerrilla marketing. I don't go out of my way to do big mass marketing. I market one-on-one, just the way you see here. If you look at all my videos, they're very unprofessionally produced, but it seems to get the message across. Again, thanks for listening, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.